Hey guys, Charlene Ortiz here. Welcome to my channel. You might notice a little improvement in the lighting today. I was finally able to invest in the appropriate lighting. And as a new YouTuber, there's definitely a lot I'm learning about the technicalities and the equipment needed and editing, all that good stuff. So definitely I want you guys to look forward to the quality and professionalism of my videos improving over time. I am probably the most technically challenged person you'll ever encounter. Yes, even more so than your 95-year-old grandma. So, but yeah, over time as I'm learning, I'm definitely going to do the best I can to make them as awesome as possible for you guys to enjoy. Okay, today we're going to talk about two very simple exercises that you can do at home with no equipment that'll take you about 5 or 10 minutes a day to do. And so the two concepts that we're going to touch on today are going to be the foundation of everything we're going to do from here on out. So whether you're just beginning an exercise program or you're an elite athlete, these two concepts are going to be essential with everything that we do, because it's going to help to contribute to your body's ability to maintain neutral spine and maintain the appropriate alignment in your back, in your posture, as well as help to reduce the risk of injury and help you to perform your exercises more efficiently. And so neutral spine is just the natural curvature of your spine that it's supposed to be in at all times. And over the years, we tend to lose that posture. And it could be for a myriad of reasons. Whether you've incurred injuries or been in accidents, or just lack of conditioning, just the fact that you haven't really exercised for a long time and those muscles have just gotten weaker and other muscles have gotten tighter. It could also be working at a desk for hours at a time for many, many years, where you're on a keyboard and you're constantly typing with your arms forward. Over time, that can tend to cause a slightly rounded posture, which over time can cause a lot of pain, discomfort, as long as a myriad of other ailments as well, which we're going to discuss here in a minute. And so we're gonna talk about these two concepts and help you guys to understand what they are, how to engage, these different muscles that contribute to that position. And the second is going to be transverse abdominis activation. And your transverse abdominis is basically a very deep muscle underneath all the other abdominal layers. And we're going to talk in more detail about that muscle here in a minute too. But the transverse abdominis does significantly contribute to your ability to maintain neutral spine and the appropriate posture. And so the reason why this is so important is because your neutral spine is going to help to keep your body functioning at its optimal level. And so if you think about your spine, that's where all your nerves originate from. I like to refer to the spine as the superhighway of the body. And so where all the nerves come from the brain, they have a message to send to different areas of your body that the brain tells them to tell this part of your body on what to do and how to function. And so you have nerves that are coming out of your spine that go to your arms. You have your sciatic nerves that go down to your legs. You have the visceral nerves that go into your abdominal system, the nerves that go into your heart, your lungs. So every part of your body is guided by a nerve, and it tells that part of your body what to do. Whenever we have any type of impingement, compression, herniation, or bulging disc, anything that inhibits the nerve's ability to send that message, your body will not be able to function at its ultimate capacity. So again, that's why it's very, very important that we understand how to get into your neutral spine and your ability and to be able to maintain that at all times. And eventually over time, through practicing and developing the muscles that contribute to that posture, that it just naturally becomes how you stand at all times. And so real quick, I just wanted to do a little demonstration that I would like for you guys to try at home, and you will need someone to assist you. And so this is something I do with pretty much all my clients when I first start working with them. So in the beginning, you're going to extend your arms out in front of you, but I want you to be in a completely relaxed posture. Just stand how you would normally stand, where you're not thinking about your posture or where your abs are at or anything. Just stand, just like you would be if you're at the grocery, just how you normally would stand, relaxed. arms out in front of you, and have somebody come and push down on your arms as hard as they can, and you resist them as hard as you possibly can. Then, and see how easy it is for them to move your arms. Then after that, I'm gonna have you guys get into your neutral spine and activate your transverse, which we're gonna talk specific here in a minute on how to do that. And so then I'll have my clients get into their neutral spine position, activate their transverse abdominis, and maintain, this stable position and keep that contraction. Put their arms out in front of them and have that same individual push down on their arms as hard as they can as you resist as hard as you can. You will notice a significant difference in their ability to push your arms down. And the reason why I love this demonstration is because it really helps people to understand, wow, I am way stronger and more stable in my neutral spine and when my transverse is activated than when I'm not in that position. And so it really kind of helps to, to drill it in, like how important these concepts really are. So I did bring my chart here today. And so I just wanted to use this to give you guys a really good visual of what it's supposed to look like on your body. And then we'll discuss how to get into that position in your own body. Okay, so I just wanted to zoom in on the chart here a little bit so you can get a better visual. And so we're going to start at the top right here with the cervical vertebrae. The cervical vertebrae is obviously our neck, and it is composed of 7 different vertebrae. And this area right here goes somewhat straight and kind of curves a little bit slightly in and then a little bit slightly out right here. Then we go on to the thoracic vertebrae, and in this area there are actually 12 different vertebrae, and this area curves out just slightly. And then we go on to the lumbar area, and sorry guys, my cat really likes to play with the pointer. So then we have the lumbar area, and this is composed of 5 different vertebrae, and as you can see, that curves slightly inward. And then we have the sacrum and the coccyx, and this area again goes out and then curls back in just a little bit. This is also known as your tailbone as well. Okay, now I wanted to zoom in a little bit on the most common conditions that people suffer from, although there's a lot, especially highlighted on this chart, but we're just going to focus on the 3 most common ones. The first one is going to be hyperkyphosis, and that's this one right here. And as you can see, the curvature in the upper part of the back is significantly curled forward. And then we have scoliosis right here. And that is a curvature when you're looking at the front of the body from a frontal view. Most people are actually born with that condition. And then we have hyperlordosis right here, and where you can see that the lower part of the spine curls in significantly and has an excessive curve right there. So most people suffer from either A or C as far as the misalignments that occur over time, for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. So, okay, so again, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a visual so you can see up close what that's supposed to look like. So now that you have a good visual and understanding of where your spine is supposed to be in its natural position, we're going to discuss what it looks like on your body. So for everyone, it's going to vary just slightly because everyone has a natural curvature that's going to deviate just slightly from this position right here. And for example, women tend to be curvier by nature, and so we can often have a little bit of an exaggerated curve in the lower part of our back, and we can tend to kind of pop our butt back a little bit more than a man might. If that's just the nature of how your back is curved, that's not a problem as long as it's not an extreme curvature. But again, everyone's curvature is naturally going to deviate just a little bit, but there's still a good happy medium that we want to be able to find for everybody's body type. And so when I'm working with my clients, The first thing that I'll instruct them to do is to bring their shoulder blades back and down. And so if your posture tends to be a little more rounded when you're relaxed, you just want to kind of pull them back using your scapula, but you want to make sure the shoulders stay down and that they don't come up towards your ears, okay? And then you want to make sure that the lower part of your back just has a natural neutral curvature, that we're not too curved out and we're also not a flat back. Oftentimes when you're watching or listening to trainers instruct their clients, you may hear the term flat back. This is not flat back. Our body, again, our spine has a natural curvature it is meant to be in. So we do not have a flat back, and that is an inappropriate term. So the appropriate term would be neutral position, neutral spine, neutral stance, whatever. But the word neutral should be in that instruction. So, all right, so now that we understand neutral spine, what it looks like on your body, we're going to talk about the transverse abdominis. And you'll see how this all ties in together and giving your body the ability to maintain that position. So the transverse abdominis is a muscle that is underneath all the other abdominal layers. So you have your rectus, which is the six pack, and then you have your internal, external obliques. And these are the muscles on people that are very well developed that you can see with the naked eye. Certainly not me. But the transverse abdominis is underneath all of that, and you cannot see it unless you dissect. And so if you were to see a diagram, you would realize that the transverse abdominis is actually like the front of your back. So it is your low back's main support system, and it is essential in helping to reduce pain and injury and contribute to your ability to maintain neutral spine. And if you were to look at a picture of it, it actually wraps around your body like a girdle. So it is a muscle that is quite large. And oftentimes it is a neglected muscle because, number one, most people don't know it exists. Number two, they don't know how to activate it. And number three, when people are working on their abs or their core, oftentimes the aesthetic aspect of it is what's important, which is great. Everybody wants to have good looking abs. There's nothing wrong with that. However, the rectus and the obliques, they do provide support, for your body, for your spine, but their role is not quite as essential as the transverse. So people will often feel like, well, if the transverse is so deep, it's not going to have as much aesthetic value. However, a secret that a lot of people don't know is the transverse abdominis is actually the muscle that contributes to your body's ability to maintain a flat stomach, because it pulls everything in. And so not only that, it also helps to anchor the digestive muscles and pretty much everything in the midsection of your body. So when that muscle is strong and engaged, it pulls everything in and just gives you a nice, strong support system right there. So, okay, so now that you kind of have a little understanding of the mechanics and the biology behind these movements and why they're so important, let's go ahead and we'll move on to our exercises. Okay, so we're going to start with our first movement with the scapular retraction. Scapular retraction is a very, very easy movement to perform, and it's basically just a movement in your shoulder blades that helps to activate a muscle called your rhomboid muscles. And your rhomboid muscles are located right in between your shoulder blades, and the rhomboid muscle, when strengthened, will naturally start to bring your shoulder blades back over time and will help you to maintain that neutral position at all times without you having to think about it as it gets stronger and as it gets conditioned to maintain that contraction, that position. So I'm going to use a foam roller, but if you don't have a foam roller, don't worry about it. You can use something as simple as the edge of a door frame. And so if you just open up any door and you just lean up against it, and you put your the door frame in between your shoulder blades, you can use this, as a reference point as well. And that's exactly just what we're using the foam roller or the door frame for, as just a reference point to kind of give our scapula a little bit of guidance on where to go and how to do the movement. So I'm going to take my foam roller and I'm going to put it in between my scapula, my shoulder blades right here. And remember, the first thing we're going to do is get into our neutral spine before we begin any movement. So that is going to be shoulders will be back and down. Our lower back will be in just a nice neutral curve, not curved too much, also not flat back up against the door frame or the foam roller, but just a slight curve. And our transverse abdominis will be activated. So remember, there is a string attached to your belly button. It's pulling it in towards your spine, and you're going to hold that contraction for as long as you can. Because in the beginning, you might feel fatigue setting in fairly quickly, but that will get better as you practice it over time. You'll get stronger. So starting with our arms directly in front of us, we're going to hug the foam roller with our shoulder blades. The movement, again, is quite small and very subtle. Also, I am not lifting my shoulders. My shoulders are staying down and relaxed. My arms are not coming out to the side. It is just a very simple straight back movement. And that's pretty much all it is. So what I want to do real quick is just do a couple sets of 5-second holds with you. And this is how you'll be performing this exercises at home on your own. So let's begin. So our arms are straight out in front of us, and let's retract and hold for 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, and release. If you kind of want to rest and shake it out, stretch it out a little bit, you can do that. And now let's go for a second repetition and retract. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, and release. And let's just get right into the next repetition. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. So each 5-second hold is 1 repetition, and I want you to perform 5 to 10 repetitions of 5-second holds. So ideally, it would be great if you could do this movement every day, but if you can't, if that's a little too much for you right now, that's fine, don't worry about it. And we'll talk a little bit more about the consistency and frequency as we get to the end of the video. So that is your scapular retraction movement. Now we're going to talk about the activation of the transverse abdominis, and we've already discussed how to activate it, so this is going to be super easy. So with the transverse, we're going to do it the same way that we did the scapular retraction. So pulling that belly button in towards your spine, remember there is a string attached to that belly button. It is pulling it back in towards your spine, and so I want you to activate that. You're in your neutral, shoulders are back and down, nice neutral curvature. And pull that belly button in, and let's count. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Now let's relax the belly button, and let's do it again. Pull that belly button in, and 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Now, my favorite thing about the transverse abdominis activation is you can do it anywhere. You can be in line at the grocery store, you could be doing dishes, you could be at work, you could be driving to work, you could be playing golf with your buddies, out shopping with your friends. It does not matter what activity you're doing during the day. There is never a time you cannot do transverse abdominis activation, because it's such a subtle movement, nobody really knows that you're doing it. So I recommend throughout the day, and every time you think about it, again, if you're in line at the grocery and you're standing there for a while, just say, hey, I'm going to practice my transverse. Just stand there, pull it in, and count, and nobody even knows that you're doing it. And so that's the one thing that I really, really love about this movement. What I love about both of these movements is they can be done in any position. They can be done standing, sitting, or laying down. So even if you are bedridden, you can lay down in bed and you can still do your retraction movement and your hold. You can still do your transverse abdominis activation, pulling that belly button in nice and tight, even if you are bedridden. So I suggest that you do practice these exercises once a day. Would be ideal. Actually, twice a day is ideal. But again, if you're not quite ready to even commit to that, that's okay. If you're just getting started, I do want you to do it at least 3 times a day, once a day. And both exercises, I want you to do 10 repetitions of 5-second holds, eventually progressing to 10-second holds. You will realize, even after just a week of doing these movements, you will realize that your core is going to start getting stronger. You'll start to feel a reduction in pain in the lower, even upper part of your back, because it helps to provide movement, loosen up those muscles, and get them engaged in a way that they haven't been engaged before. So, and if you're bedridden, if you start to work on doing this contraction, again, just hold it for 5 seconds and release and do that 10 times. And you also start to work on, activating those rhomboid muscles, it will start to become easier for you to sit up and move on to other things. And so no matter where you are in your fitness journey, there is always something that you can do to improve your situation. So, all right, guys, real quick, if you want to purchase a foam roller, you can pretty much get them anywhere. Any department store will sell them, like a Walmart, Target, sports stores. You can get them online, and they're fairly inexpensive. I think I got this one for like $12, unless you want to get like a real fancy one. Some of them run $60, but that's not necessary for what we're going to be doing. But I will be using this device in future workouts, and I'm going to put a link in the description below on where a couple places where you can get one for a really good price. And so that will be a really nice tool for you to have to do a lot of different stretches and exercises and movements as well. Okay, guys, well, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your attention and your time. And I would really love a like and subscribe to my channel. And even more importantly, I would really love to hear your comments. So any questions that you have about what we did today, maybe you didn't quite understand it, or just anything you would specifically like to see, information, research, anything, please just comment down below, and I will, do everything I can to accommodate whatever it is that you would like to see and that you would like to learn on this channel. And so, all right, guys, so remember, take care of yourself, protect yourself physically and emotionally, and don't forget, your health is your most valuable asset. Invest in it. Bye-bye.